Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. What a great room. We've got good energy. Reem, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
And a belated congratulations to Miss Reem Acra as a Cultural Diplomacy honoree this year. Please join me in giving her a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to talk about your work, about you and how you came to be this global icon you are today. Before we talk about its impact today, you have built an iconic global fashion brand, and I think it's fair to say it is deeply rooted in a very personal design point of view. Is that fair to say? How does where you come from and what you lived through inform how you create?
Well, I think that the way I started was really being myself. I did not want to copy anyone else. I figured that I had my own identity, and that my identity really comes from my own culture. I came to America, I was in my early 20s, and I felt myself. I felt this is the place where I can grow, expose my culture, and be who I want to be. I didn't know yet what it was going to be, but I knew that there was something that I could bring to the table.
You were born and raised in Beirut, is that right?
Born and raised in Beirut, and I love that I was raised in Beirut because it gave me so much culture, strength, and the ability to move around without having anything stop me. Like every door that closes, I would open it back, and that comes from my own culture.
So I read a story, I don't know if it's true or not, about you designing a very elegant embroidered silk organza gown that you wore to an event at the American University in Beirut when you were studying there, and that you were spotted by a fashion editor, and that helped spark your love of fashion. Is any of that true?
There is some truth to this.
Okay.
And I was actually, last week, I was going through my stuff, and I found a piece of that dress.
Did you really? Oh, and the key detail, I should say, is that the dress came from a tablecloth. Tell us that story.
So my mother wasn't around at the house, and I had a graduation to go to, and somehow I just kind of panicked and said, what am I going to wear? So I went and looked at the table. I grabbed the tablecloth, and I didn't have a seamstress at that time, but in all my childhood, I had a live-in seamstress, but that time I didn't. I had my mother's friend. I said, hey, can you sew? She says, yeah. Let's open the sewing machine. And I said, okay, let's make a hole here and put this together, and that's it. And that dress was the talk of the town, and this is how it all started, somehow.
And you just found a piece of it.
I found a piece of it. It's in my garage right now.
Stays with you today. You mentioned coming to New York and finding your path. We should mention you studied at the Fashion Institute there, at its sister facility in Paris as well. You worked in Hong Kong, I believe, as well, before launching your bridal line in 1997. I'm curious about how you hang on to the things that make you you, because when you're unique and navigating institutions where momentum and the center of gravity tend to be very powerful, sometimes there's a tendency to round the sharp edges or numb some of the details, but you've hung on to what makes you unique. How did you do that?
I think really, for me, what matters the most is being myself, true to myself. I didn't want to, it wasn't about becoming famous or anything like this. It was about me being happy. And being happy is kind of really staying the way I always lived. I wanted my culture part of who I am. I didn't want to deviate. I thought I had, and I truly think still, that I have something very special, that I could combine two cultures, and I didn't want to be different. I wanted to be who I am. No, that's it.
Did you feel any pressure along the way to try to change who you are, to be more like other people or try to cater to different audiences?
Yes. You know, the economy kind of leads you to, like, and puts you in a corner and saying that you need to do this, you need to do that. And then just lately I decided, oh, the hell with all this. I don't need it anymore. I'm really going to stick to what I love the most, being at the atelier and working with my people. You know, they come from all over the world, from China, from Spain, and just working with these people gives me joy. And I decided I just really want to hang on to this just because I love working with the people from different cultures, and I'm going to do anything I want to do. And the world has to accept it or not accept it.
To hell with all of this is sort of just my internal monologue some days. We should mention as well, growing up in Lebanon, you did witness, you survived, you endured the Lebanese Civil War, which, just as a reminder, I mean, tens of thousands of Lebanese people were killed. It led to the exodus of some million or so people. I will say, having covered conflict and war, for anyone who never has to live with that kind of insecurity is truly a privilege. It's a formative experience. It absolutely changes how you see the world and your place in it. I wonder how that experience for you, witnessing what you did, living through what you did, how does that inform how you approach your work, how you create?
Well, wow. Big, long question. I loved living that part of my life during the war. It gave me so much strength. It taught me that what I just said before, if a door closes, you open another door. If there is no hot water, it's okay, you take a shower with the cold water. If there's no drinkable water, we'll put it in the sun, and the sunlight will kind of make it all good. It taught us so much. And I'm blessed that I lived this part of my time here on earth in Lebanon to understand all of this, and it just gives me the strength to keep going.
That is fascinating to hear. You don't often hear people essentially say they're grateful for having lived through that experience.
Very grateful.
The resilience, the resourcefulness that it taught you, where does that show up today? How do you think you apply that today?
The door never closes. I will always think about the future, there's always positive things in my head. It's never negative. It's always there's a way out. And that's a blessing that I learned throughout the years.
I'd be remiss, Reem, if I didn't ask you about our current environment and what's happening now in Lebanon, where there's now another war unfolding and a sort of stop-start to a ceasefire or a cessation of fighting. What's it like for you to watch this unfold from afar?
Oh, of course, it's so difficult. It's so difficult because my friends are there. We talk to them all the time. We converse about what's happening, and my heart is kind of sad about the things that are going. It's hard to tell what the future will be, but I hope that things will be positive. I hope that things get better. I want to go there. I mean, I'm selfish. I want to go. I want to visit, and I'm not able to right now. But I'm hoping for the best and that things will get better.
This idea that your work can have impact beyond the people who wear it, the people who see it, the people who bear witness to the process. I mean, fashion is the first thing we see about each other, right? It's the first thing people know about you before they know what faith you practice or where you come from or anything about your background. How do you view that in terms of your work sort of representing people out in the world when they're first seen?
I mean, I was blessed to work with brides for many years. I think I've been in this business about 27 years, and it all started with making dresses for brides. But that taught me that I needed to look at the woman herself, not at fashion, but the woman herself, and understanding quickly. I didn't have enough time, so I needed to understand what really she wants, understand her character, and people thought that I was like I could understand quickly. It's because I kind of absorb the energy of the people and understand what they want and what they should look like at their best event, at their wedding, or at any of their events, whether it's a bride or a first lady or someone who wants to be impactful or be themselves.
I wonder if you look at your work as playing a role in diplomacy. Do you look at yourself as creating work that's able to bridge divides and help people understand each other better?
Oh, absolutely.
You do? Tell me how.
Absolutely. I think from the very beginning, my goal in life and in my career is that I always wanted to blend the East and the West. The Silk Road meant a lot to me as a fashion designer, as an artist, as a creator. And I always liked to look at the East and blend it with the West because I lived in the States when I was 6 years old for a year. I went back and lived in Lebanon again and came back to New York. I lived in Paris. I lived in Hong Kong. So I kind of have lived all over the world in a way where I could absorb different cultures. And I believe that this cross-culture is very important. I also rely on the past giving me inspiration for the future. I love everything about the past. My mother used to take me to the souks of Aleppo, Damascus, Beirut, Lebanon, and she used to teach me how to grab and look at things in a different way.
And you think about how people hear Aleppo and Damascus today, it's a very different context a lot of Americans in particular have for those locations. I wonder if you feel like a pressure to represent in a certain way, because for many people, your work and your designs and your creations may be the first time that they're getting real detail to some of these places.
Yeah, well, I started this about 27 years ago. The first ad campaign that I have put on the market is a wedding dresses with embroidery from the Turkish Empire. In a format where a bride is using the oud, it means it's an instrument. So it was really very clear that I was focused on cross-culture. And that has been from the very beginning. It was me, my identity. So no effort here. It is who I am.
What kind of reactions do you get from people? I mean, you've dressed some of the biggest stars on the planet, right? Do you ever get a strong reaction to your work from people who've never come into contact with those kinds of designs and design story?
Well, I love to hear their kind of what they think about the designs. I get many messages thanking me for creating something that make them look good. Actually, it's not about looking good, it's about feeling good. It's the confidence that I bring to the table and not really the fashion. I'm not a fashionista. I don't dress like a fashion person. I'm more an individual who loves cultures and who loves aesthetically beautiful things.
I wonder at this moment, right, we talk a lot about America marking her 250th this year. What role do you think your work plays in that cross-cultural effort at a time when divisions can seem very deep, divides can seem very wide, there's a lot of misunderstanding across distant cultures? Do you feel like there's more of a responsibility for your work to fill some of the gaps that have been left there? How do you look at that?
I think I've done the work when it was even more difficult 27 years ago. Who would have thought? I think I did the work already, and I paved the path. And I hope that there is another generation after me that will continue what I did and kind of be proud of themselves, proud of their heritage, and bring what I brought to the table to America, and vice versa. I love what we bring here to the East as well. I mean, there is something so sophisticated about the simplicity of how we live here. And this kind of combination of cross-culture is very important. And I hope the next generation will have plenty of opportunities to do this.
Tell me about that next generation, because you've been such a trailblazer in this field for so many. You've been someone that young designers from a certain part of the world, young female designers of color can look up to. Do you hear from them? Do they ever ask you for advice?
Yes.
What do you tell them?
I tell them, you know, being a fashion designer is not is not the ultimate goal, really, is being happy in what you do and really understanding what your capacity is. You can't just say, I want to be a fashion designer. Are you really ready? Because it's a very bumpy road. So I just say you have to really understand what you want. And once you do, you can thrive and become who you're supposed to be.
It's interesting to hear you say you don't see yourself as a fashion designer. That's how we all know you. That's how you've made your brand and your name. So how would you describe yourself? What is your role here?
Maybe someone who blends the East and the West, the past and the future. I think I did fill this role in many ways. So maybe that.
Your happiness has been a key thing you return to again and again, even as we were talking in the other room. Does the work still make you happy? What's changed about the work over the years that lets you hang on to the parts that make you happy?
You know, there is a big part of my world, the fashion, that is not easy. It's, as I said, it's a bumpy road and very difficult. So sometimes I want to give up, but then I go to the atelier with these ladies that are sewing my dresses one piece at a time, and I kind of play with them as if I'm like playing in kindergarten, and I'm like, well, that's exactly what makes me happy. And the other thing is meeting women and understanding the woman and empowering them and giving them the confidence that they are thriving to have. And this, for me, is the biggest thing that I have accomplished in my career.
You've been doing this the better part of 3 decades now. Is there advice that you would give your younger self as you look back on this bumpy road that you've walked, something you'd do differently if you had to do it again?
There are so many things I could have done better than I did right now, but I'm thankful for my journey. I'm happy with what I have accomplished, and if this is what God gave me, this is what I am thankful for.
Are there things left undone? Is there a big dream ahead, someone you haven't worked with yet that you're dying to be able to do so?
I think they will come on their own. I never kind of go and solicit people. It's like either they come or they don't come. There is so much more to do, and I would love to be still playing a part between the East and the West. I think it's a dream of mine, whether it's in fashion or other things. I love my culture, and I love my culture, both blended culture, and that gives me joy.
Reem, you live with such a generous spirit and clearly with so much gratitude, which is something I know I'm inspired by. I'm sure you are all as well. I wonder, as you look ahead now to whatever it is you want to do next, what is it you want people to take away from this idea who may think, well, fashion is maybe superficial or frivolous, that it's not central to who we are or to connecting us as people? What would you say to that?
I say that fashion, if you don't think about the word fashion is part of who we are. What we wear every day, the colors that we put on, the way we handle ourselves in our wardrobe tells it all. It either gives us confidence or kind of puts us on the side. It's not about spending money, or it's just about feeling yourself, being confident in your own element, and this is what fashion brings to the table. I think that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Reem Acra. I'm going to open it up now. Anyone in the room with questions for Reem? Yes, right here in the front, please. I think there'll be a microphone coming to you if you wait right here in the front, the red and white, please. Thank you.
I'm very curious, because of your special spirit, do you have a young apprentice that you're nurturing?
Oh, do I have a young person I'm nurturing? I think there are many young people around me that ask me questions and come and meet with me almost every week. And what I give them is really trying to guide them on not dreaming the wrong dream. is dreaming the right dream. You don't have to dream that you have to be the most famous fashion designer. That's not the goal. The goal is to dream on what you were given, understanding what your capacity is, and taking that and making something out of it.
Dream the right dream. That's good advice. Any other questions in the room? Yes, right there in the middle. Thank you.
So I can absolutely confirm that you are marrying the East and the West, because half of my family has worn your bridal gowns of various modesty requirements. So looking at your pre-fall, there's something about look 32 that has stuck out to me. And for those not familiar, it is a long sleeve, straight sheath white with a black stripe. There's something about it that looks like your vision of the future, and I wonder if that's true.
I'm trying to remember look 32.
Can you describe it a little bit more for us, maybe?
Sure.
So
I'm
we're
assuming it's silk, having not seen it in person, but it is, you are essentially covered from head to toe without noticing. And the collar is black. There is a straight black line with some little detail.
I think I got it. I think it's well, yeah, it's I'm in general kind of designed with a conservative attitude. I am not someone, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to look sexy, I'm like, you're not in the right place. I'm going to make you look sensual, not sexy. So sometimes being covered could be sensual. I think there's a fine line between how you present yourself. And that particular dress, yes, it happens to be crew neckline, long sleeves, black, very kind of proper, with a center embroidery on the center of the dress. I'm not sure that it represents the future. I think it represents me in general. So yes, that's a good representation of who I am.
I love the specificity of the question. We're all going to be Googling look 32 from your next line when we leave here. Yes, right over here. Thank you. If you just hang on one moment, please, we'll have the microphone come to you.
What a marvelous, marvelous presentation. Without naming names, and we certainly don't want any names mentioned, but is there a situation where you had a very, very difficult time, and how did you face working on a project that you just couldn't fix or you didn't enjoy?
Or feel free to name names. It's fine if you want.
No, names you'll never hear from me. I've worked with many, many important people. I have been the go-to if they wanted to keep something secret. So I'm used to this. Yes, I have worked with brides. Let's put it in general. Brides are difficult. So 27 years of working with brides had taught me that you have to be very kind of patient, but at the same time powerful, because they need someone to guide them and to tell them the truth. So I was able to balance between what the customer wants and between what I think they should look like. It's the balance. And yeah, I've had very difficult times, but I always was able to kind of open that door. The door that was closed, I always opened it. I'm very confident with my work, so nothing stops me. With any difficulty, I always manage to kind of be, meaning really bring to the table exactly what I want.
It's a terrific question. Thank you. Yes, just 2 seats down. Right here up front. Yep. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you again. As a fellow Lebanese American, I want to bring you back a little bit to that bridge builder between the East and the West. Do you feel that sometimes it comes at the expense of living in this in-betweenness that we sometimes feel, where we don't fully belong there and we don't fully belong here anymore, and we're in kind of this world that we build for ourselves?
A great question that I think every Lebanese kind of questions themselves. Yes, I live in a bubble, and that bubble is out there. It's not a country, it's a culture. And that culture is a blend of two. And I live with it, I know what it is, and I protect myself, and I know that I am not totally this, nor totally that. I'm the in-between, and I have to live with it. It is my destiny, and I have to just really teach myself that this is it. You know, I'm not dreaming that one day I'm going to go back to my old culture. It's gone. I'm happy with what I have, and it's my destiny is to be in this bubble, and I'm fine with it.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Selfishly, I am getting ready to wear one of your gowns to my wedding, and I love it so much, so thank you.
Congratulations, we should say.
Thank you, thanks. It's so beautiful. You have dressed multiple American First Ladies on both sides of the aisle. I wonder what that has meant to you and how you think about your place in history.
Well, I think I'm flattered that I was able to maneuver between many different cultures, many different kinds of people, and that I'm not into politics. I'm into women and making sure that they look right and that they represent the country the right way. So I think for me about my country is America, and my country is Lebanon as well. But I think about this woman is representing America, and I'm an American. I have to make sure that whatever I do for her really represents America the right way. It doesn't matter who she is, and my goal is really the woman herself.
Yes, right there.
Hi, I'm Kevin Barron. I'm a man in the room. We're in Washington, so I wonder, how does government politics impact your business and your ability to do the things you want to do? And I'm specifically thinking of things like climate change policies, and we're trying to be a sustainable business, the freedom of movement for people, materials, partnerships, things like that. Are there ways that it's impacting you negatively, positively? Where are you sitting in that?
Well, everything affects everything. I think I'm affected in many ways. Prices are hiking up, and I have to kind of rethink every single day, how am I going to make this happen? And on top of it, add that Saks Global went Chapter 11. That didn't make the industry kind of great, so it really kind of affected us. So beside all the things that are going around us, whether it's taxes or whatever, there's also another part that is playing a role. And as a designer or as an entrepreneur, I think I have to make sure that I shift kind of and try to swim to the shore and still be myself and protect myself as much as I can. So I shrunk my company a little bit, just playing the right role until things kind of open up, or until I see what I want as well. So perhaps it's not what the past has given me. I might, I'm at the stage where I think differently. So we'll see how this all will play.
Time for one last question. Anyone in the room? Yes, please. Thank you.
Mine's a quick one, thank you. As women, especially in DC, there's a lot of events and different things to dress for. I think we're all looking for that closet or wardrobe with, we've got something to wear. What's the one thing in your closet that you can't live without?
A black dress. A black dress. It goes anywhere.
What a perfect question to end on, something we can all take away. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your questions. Please join me in thanking the extraordinary Reem Acra.
Thank you very much. Thank you.